Hi guys, welcome to QNAP Live Broadcast. I'm your host Sam for the topic today, and today we're going to introduce a very new model which is established maybe in the end of this year, and is so tiny but filled with so many different features and all the ports around that. So we invited our PM Jason here today.
Hi Sam, hi everyone.
So also we invited a special guest that is from one of our suppliers. So he will tell us about the detailed thing for the special part, why we wanted to be the partners with them, and how can the supplier provide us such a good feature with all the product line that we have chosen.
So let me give you the today our
wait, I haven't named out the model name. Okay, this will be TBS-453DX.
Yes.
So okay, bring it on.
Yep.
Surprise me. Yeah.
类似
Fine.
It's very small and tiny.
Yeah, this is our brand new NAS, and it's TBS-453DX. So let's check all the ports right here. This is the front side, and we can see there are two USB 3.0 ports, and at the side there's one port for USB 3.0, and at the back there are four 2.0 USB port and a 4K output HDMI. One of the 10G base T, and the other is GigaLAN port. Three of the audio ports, and power cord. So it's very small, very tiny, and not heavy at all. I guess less than 1 kilogram.
Yes.
So we will make some detailed introduction for this model, and also we will show you the special part of our supplier's information. So let's get into the slide first. And this will be the TBS-453DX, and we can see that it supports CacheMount and 10G base T. Well, it supports 4 of the M.2 SATA SSD, so you don't need to install any of the hard disks. And then it's using a Intel processor, give you a 4K output of the HDMI, and it can support our remote control. Yeah. So first, Jason, please show us the special part of this one.
So the TBS-453DX, we designed it to target users who needs easy to carry this and then set it up anywhere. So you will see that this one is very light. As you can see, only less than 1 kilogram, so only 700 some gram for this device, and then plus the weight of the SSDs. And the size is very small, as you can see on the picture, compared to a calculator or notebook. You know, it's a B5 size, which is very small and can be fitted just like in the suitcase. Yeah. So basically, whether you want to use it for your mega project, your garage project, for your everyday backup or file sharing, or if you want to take it to between your workplace and home to transport your data, or if you want to connect this TBS to your TV or to a monitor to play back the videos on the device, and it can do basically many things of the media NAS can do. So you can use because of the small size, you can install it everywhere. Yeah.
Of course. And here's the content of this NAS. As you can see that at the back side, 4 of the M.2 SATA SSD slots at the right hand side, and 1 fan, and the left hand side are 2 of the DDR4 SO-UDIMM slots. So we can see that compared to another of our version, well, the HS version,
yeah.
Well, this one has another extra fan, so the heat sink function will also provide you a good performance. And then the next part, we will talk about the processor.
Yeah, so the processor also same in the new processor you find in the previous TBS-453DX. So use the same Intel Celeron J4105 processor. So it's a quad-core processor based on the German generation, which is quite new. And the base frequency is 1.5 gigahertz, and the burst up to 2.5 gigahertz. This CPU also supports AES-NI encryption acceleration. So when you encrypt the volume or folder on the NAS, it won't impact the CPU performance and the quad-core design. So together with our QTS 4.4.0, and we also shipped with Linux new kernel 4.14. So together with this, you will enjoy many new features which are already released in our QTS 4.3.5, such as SSD over provisioning, right? And then we also will give you a preview of the Cache Mount feature on this TBS-453DX. So just for you to see how you can utilize the cloud-based storage spaces to enhance your TBS functions.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, since this NAS is using M.2 SSD, so we will put this on the first place. Well, we will tell you that different SSD has different performance. So in this episode, we will also introduce you the SSD that we suggested. And the picture right here is to show you that the performance. You can see the IOPS right at the left-hand side, and each of the different brands of the SSD has different performance. So, speaking of the performance, why we are choosing SSD instead of hard disk? And very easy, we can check the right-hand side, the chart. Well, the price of the SSD compared to 2013 with this year, the price is getting lower and lower. So it's pretty much like getting to the price of the hard disk. And then, speaking of the performance, which is at the left-hand side, we can see the random access of the SSD is like around 200 times of the hard disk. So if you have the situation that you need to have a fast access or the read-write performance, SSD will definitely be a good choice over hard disk. Yes. So that is why under the two benefit, random access and the price concern, we will suggest you and we will implement the SSD solution into our new NAS.
Yeah, so and also you can check our QNAP website for the compatibility list to check what kind of SSDs are compatible with the QNAP NAS. But in this, we will recommend you take a look at the Samsung A600 860 EVO M.2 SSDs. Here you will see that for the you may wonder that the M.2 evolution.
Okay, I mean, yeah. It's Halloween.
So you may think that okay, M.2, this kind of form factor, it sounds like expensive form factor, SSD, because in the past it was only used for notebook, right? But if you look at the prices on the website, many of the online retail stores now, you will see that it's actually the same price as the 2.5-inch SSDs.
Of course.
Yeah. So basically, there's no more a price gap between the two kinds of form factors, and so it's this kind is a good pick for the TBS-453DX. And plus the manufacturer Samsung is as you can see on the right figure, is the industry leader. And then so not to mention the read and write performance also top notch. And besides with a lower heat and a lower power consumption when you use it with the TBS. So we highly recommend give this a look.
Okay, sure. So I believe that you have already known that what is over provisioning in our previous broadcast, but still in this episode we still want to tell you about the over provisioning again. Well, to be simple, that the over provisioning is kind of a percentage of your SSD. It will take the some percentage of your storage space of your SSD as we call it OP space. Well, the function is to give you a bigger room when your SSD is nearly full and you still want to write something into your SSD. And the over provisioning space can give you a temporary space to save your data file, and then while the SSD is cleaning every data inside of the block and pages on the hardware, and when the space is really empty, they will move the data file from your over provisioning area into your SSD. And this whole process happens inside of your SSD. So actually the bigger your SSD over provisioning ratio is, the faster and the more stabilizer the writing speed you will have when you are facing the full of your SSD. So basically this is the test we have done in our lab. As you can see that the blue line means the 0 of the percentage, and the red means 20 and orange means 40. And the X line is the time second, and the Y line is the IOPS. We can see that if the over provisioning partial is 0, And then you will like maybe 100-second, the IOPS drop from over 75,000 into like lower than 10,000. But if it's 20%, it can last until around 40 seconds and it drops. But even though it drops, it still keep at around 25,000. And if it's 40%, we can see the performance getting better. So that is why we will suggest you to have a bigger over provisioning space. You might think that it will consume your storage capacity, but you know, you will still get some benefit from it. And actually, this will lessen the write amplification. So this will provide you a more longer product lifetime, which will give you a better, like efficient. So we have our own over provisioning tool in our latest QTS version 4.3.5. So when you update the version, and you can just download the over profiling tool on our QNAP App Center, and you can test from 10% into 60%, and the interval can be 5% to 10%. So you can test with your current SSD and to try that what is the best fit for your own SSD. And if you have different usage of your SSD, for example, like enterprise server, or you are just a home user, we all have the different suggestion on our website. You can check by yourself and take it as a recommendation and try for your own good.
So compared to the traditional NAS with hard drives, right? The TBS uses SSDs, which has, of course, even though you get a faster response and speed with SSDs, but you get less storage space. But what if you have some cloud-based storage providers? You have some space from them. How can you utilize those cloud spaces? Then QNAP is going to provide brand new applications based on different technologies. The first one is a file-level gateway called a CacheMount, and then the second one is a block-level gateway called VJBOD Cloud. And for this, we can, together with the TBS-453DX, then you can basically utilize your cloud-based storage provider, and then utilize those spaces to add more storage space to your TBS, and then create more possibilities.
Sure.
So let's take a look how you can do with what you can do with these kind of applications.
Of course.
So first is a cache mount. So basically, we allow TBS-453DX to mount more than 20 of the cloud storage providers. As you can see, many is on the left-hand side. And once you have mounted those cloud space with a cache mount, you can use our existing QTS applications such as the File Station, QSearch, and then any other file editing software, and many of our multimedia applications such as Video Station, Media Station, Photo Station. And furthermore, you can export these cloud storage spaces to your users through a network, such as through FTP or through SMB access.
Of course.
So basically, the NAS becomes a centralized gateway, like a gateway to all the different online storage providers.
You were saying Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay.
gateway, yeah. Okay. So here is the user interface of this file station and the PC. So here you will see that once you have enabled cache mount and mounted some of the cloud, for example, here you have a Dropbox and Amazon, so you can actually access those object-based storage area with your NAS QTS.
Sure.
And for the PC, you will see these different individual services as a network-based folder. So basically, you can also mount and share access the data directly. So basically, you just need to access one central NAS, and then you have opens the door to the different providers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then to enable this, of course, it's just simply a remote mount, right? For this brand new feature, we have added the EdgeCache volume to provide you the experience of local storage speed. So here, if you look at our graph, here the brand new is the EdgeCache volume. You can set up anywhere from 200 gigabyte to or more to act as a local cache volume So anything that's being accessed through between your NAS, your client, and the cloud service provider, the files will be temporarily cached in the cache volume. So when the users are accessing this NAS, or we call it cloud data, then it's like they access the cache volume first. So it's just like they are accessing the local storage. So that's why we are making this feature. We see this as a feature like a big important application for TBS.
Okay.
So basically, you can use it to cache your cloud data, or don't worry about it if you want the performance, because QNAP has a Q tier, right? If you want to use it on other NAS devices with a hard drive support, then you can also set up this EdgeCache volume, the big volume on the hard drive layer, right? And then you can enable SSD cache or the Q tier with the SSDs to accelerate your performance. Yeah, because everything will be cached, to enhance the performance.
Sure.
Okay. So let's give you a little bit introduction, a preview about the upcoming CacheMount application. And now let's take a look of the VJBOD Cloud. So with the VJBOD Cloud, remember our NAS, we can expand the NAS capacity through the VJBOD, right? It's through with the local 10G or 1G with another QNAP NAS. And we take it one step further. So if you have a cloud service that's supported by us, then you can set up a VJBOD Cloud to utilize that space. So when you want to back up the data, then you can also mount it directly, and then the files will be backed up in block level. So which means only changed blocks will be updated instead of the whole file. So it can save your time and your bandwidth, because we know most of the time when the data travel between the local and the cloud, it takes money. Yeah, money. Yeah. So that's why
you're a fan of Alba, right?
Yes. So that's why we developed this VJBOD Cloud as block-based. Okay. And then the next slide is just to explain the idea behind this VJBOD Cloud. So here from a picture, you will see that on the cloud, we call it cloud now as an object. So basically, our TBS will store the objects on your cloud storage. And then when you want to mount it from, for example, when your first NAS is broken, for example, some disaster, then you can mount the same data with a second NAS, and then you have a boom, your data will be reachable right away. Yeah, like magic.
Yeah, like
okay.
Like magic. Someone just moved us, like from here to here.
I did just the magic. Okay. So basically, that's about the brand new upcoming feature about the CacheMount and the VJBOD Cloud.
Yeah, and speaking of the SSD, since it can provide you a wider like the bandwidth for the read and write, and of course when you can transmitting the big file, what do you need for the next phase? Of course, a bigger bandwidth of your internet.
I need a bigger doors for me, the big guy.
Yeah. So basically, we were talking about 10 GBAST, and 10 gigabit transmission speed is basically the future. So here's the good news. If you are using a Cat5e of your internet cable, you can already upgrade your speed into 5 gigabit, right? So that is a good news. You don't really even have to change all the layout of your wiring, so you can upgrade that. But if you are using a Cat6 or even higher, congratulations, you can enjoy the 10 gigabit transmission speed. So when you have this new NAS TBS-453DX, you can already use the 10 GBAST port at the backside and to upgrade all your transmission speed, which is a very good news.
Yeah. So the 10 gigabit function is based on the industrial leader Aquantia's AQC107 10G IC. So as you can see, it's used widely deployed in many of the devices. So for guarantee, the compatibility and performance are top notch. And that's why we have
no, there's no that's why. So basically, why I need to stop Jason is because we have a very special guest that is from our supplier Aquantia, and he will let us know all the details about and the history and overall about Aquantia and why Aquantia is such a good partner. What is the benefit of using the Aquantia chip?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a little break, and we will invite our senior FAE,
yes.
Yeah, our senior FAE of Aquantia, George. Hi, we're back. This is senior FAE of Aquantia, George. Welcome to our broadcast.
Hello,
nice to meet you.
Hello, Jason. Hi, guys. I'm George.
And George will tell us the overall and the benefit of using the Aquantia chip.
Yes.
So let's go back to the slides, please.
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm George from Aquantia. Okay, so today I'm trying to let you know more about the Aquantia, what's the company, and what we are going to do to the market from past to the future. Okay, so back to 2004, Aquantia started from a very small chip design house. Yeah, I cannot say that stuff from the garage.
Really?
But, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like
at the moment, I think the 1G is very popular. 1G
Yeah.
base is very popular. But at that time, we were dedicated to develop so what we call 10G base T technology. Okay, over a decade. Right now, we are the leading company on the multi-gig, so or we can say the high-speed communication chips for Ethernet Ethernet connectivities. Okay, so right now, the overall company, we have 250 plus employee, but more than 90% are engineers. So you can say that it's a very engineering company. Okay, so right now, based on this core technology, we have around almost 200 product in the market right now, and start from the first day we start to ship our chip, there's more than 10 million ports in the market already. Okay, so that's and we need to thank our customer like QNAP and our other very important customers, and also our partners from other chip vendors, and also our distributor. We successfully get IPO in last year. Okay, so from our first 10G base T chipset cancel until now, we are focusing on different market segments, such as start from data center, and then we start to move to enterprise, and also the SS. So like new QNAP is in the SS segment. And in the near future, we are also have new solution to automotive.
Okay.
Okay, so like what I say, that's start from 10G base T, our product can be only used in data center. That's because at the time the manufacture process is very old, so the power consumption and the chip price is very high. And some people will say that it's just 10G, how difficult will be. But remember that the 10G base T chip is not a pure digital chips. Okay, it's a mixed signal, so you need to deal with digital and analog and mix them together and come out to the solution. So for the engineering in our field side, in our field, you know that it's very difficult, especially you need to migrate from this old manufacture process to next process. You try to reduce the power, reduce chipset size. It's very difficult. Okay, so after 10 more years, right now we also have solution for hyperscale data center. That's how we are the first company to deliver 25G and 100G over coaxial cable.
Okay.
Copper cable. Okay. Okay. So after data center, we have some new chipset that can use on the enterprise infrastructure. Okay. So like a company like a stadium, okay, like a concert hall. Yeah, that's because all these devices, the equipment, the price is very high. They can suffer that high port cost.
Yes.
Yeah, but there is still a problem about the power consumption. So we keep moving on how to reduce the chip size, how to reduce the power consumption. So in these 2 years, we finally come out good solutions that can apply for SS area. Okay, so in SS area, that's we need to think about thanks for the technology about the 11AC Web 2. Start from that till now that we talk about the 11X. The wireless throughput is more than 1G, more over than 1G, even over 5G. Okay, so people will think about with wireless SS that's more than 5G, even 10G, but my wild speed. Do we still use 1G? No, that's not possible.
Yes.
Okay, so we are focusing on how to deploy this kind of concept and use a very cheap CAT cable, and have more people can enjoy the high throughput, high bandwidth, and low latency.
Of course.
Okay, so and then we talk about automotive. Yeah, we right now have some partner, and we are working on the autonomous cars solution. That's what we call in-vehicle networking. That's because right now we know Tesla, that's a level 3. Yeah, autonomous car, but we are targeting on the level 5. So at that time, there's you will see there are many camera sensors on the car. So the GPU need to deal with a lot of data, real-time data, uncompressed from the camera, from sensor, and all this data need to be transferred immediately to the GPU. And the car, they can decide if he need to speed up, slow down, turn right, something like that. So the high throughput becomes very important.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our new solution for the automotive.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So here we talk about the application that's QNAP product mainly focusing on. Like the story I say that the multi-G, 10G, 5G, 2.5G technology is driven by the AC AX technology. So we came out the wireless router that it needs more than 1G port, 1G basically port. So there are a lot of high-end products. They have a 10G port, 5G port inside, but those kind of router or AP, where should it connect? So that's a problem. So we start to promote in the very cost-effective switches, 10G switches, or we say the multi-G switches. And also we have some gateway design with carrier. Yeah, we know that for those MSO and ISP, they already have 10G to the building. Okay, so you have the 10G to the WAN. You need equivalent bandwidth to your home. Okay, so that's a part of infrastructure, and we can think about how about others. How about the end users? Okay, so we work with QNAP to start the lot of NAS design, including this very brand new product. Very excited, and also we have some designs. Actually, there's many designs with PCs, or even the gaming motherboard, or even if you have a laptop like Ultrabook, you don't have the Ethernet port, but you can just use a single dongle, even though there's a USB or Thunderbolt to Ethernet dongle. Just plug in, boom, you have a 10G Ethernet. Okay. Wow, that's very amazing. So why we need 10G here? There's many questions from the customers. So can you imagine that when you're playing the CS, boom, suddenly can you imagine that it's due to the low bandwidth, high latency, and suddenly
You die.
You die.
You just die.
Yeah, you can think about that when you use a VPN to connect to some other places, and that VPN pipe occupy whole your throughput, and then you cannot access any your email server.
Of course.
You cannot play the online video stream, something like that. Yeah. So if you have 10G, you have 5G. With QNAP solution, use our solution with high throughput. Yeah, you can enjoy the benefit of the high bandwidth.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is all the information from George, and we appreciate that. And of course, we look forward to the result of your cooperation with the automotive industry. I think that is a very brilliant expectation to our future. Well, so since 10G is basically, of course, the future. So if we have a 10G NAS, so what about our computer? What about our working environment? So this is the other thing that we need to take care of. So QNAP, we provide you accessories for your PC and your NAS that doesn't support 10G already. So you just have to install this PCI card into your computer or into your NAS. Well, for your NAS, you can directly just upgrade your internet transmission speed, and for your Windows, you can easily download the driver from Aquantia website, and you can upgrade your transmission speed. So for Windows, it's very easy to upgrade, and if you are running a Linux Ubuntu on your machine, you can also upgrade your transmission speed through our QXG 10G 1T card.
Yeah, this is also based on a Aquantia solution.
Of course. And this is the Windows and Linux user. Of course, we will not forget our Mac user. So recently, we just established a new adapter which is called QNAP 10G 1T. So that is very easy and small to use. You just need to plug your Thunderbolt 3 port onto the adapter, and it will have power. And then also the transmission also starts. And the other side, you just need to plug your RJ45 connector. And then this is how you can easily transfer your Thunderbolt 3 into another RJ45 port. So you can connect your internet cable into switch or into another devices. So as we can see here, the 2018 iMac Pro already support you one of the 10G base T and 4 of the Thunderbolt 3 ports. So everything we can see currently means that, that represent the 10G future is not coming. It's we are inside of the 10G future. So that is why using 10G transmission speed is very important. And for these two solutions are for the like a single user. But if we want to expand our 10G environment, what can we do? We can choose the QNAP Q-Switch 1208 or A04. Well, that two are the combo port of the 10G switch. Each port can provide you 10G speed, and it can work down low. So no matter it's a 5 gig or 2.5 or even 1 gigabit, you can all use that. And it's very easy. You just need to put all your devices onto the Q switch, and the other side we just connect to another 10G router, and everything's done. Yeah. So no matter it's using Mac or you are using Windows or you are using NAS, all of that can enjoy a 10G speed with our QNAP 10G network switch.
Yeah. So how fast can this little guy output in performance? So let's take a look. For this test, we have installed two of the 1 terabyte Samsung SSDs in RAID 0. So based on our test, through the 10 gigabit port, because you can see read write can over 600 megabyte per second, and then even if you encrypt the volume, you can still maintain at 660 megabyte per second.
Yeah, so let's check on the real life test.
Okay.
So let's go back, let's go to the live demo part. This one for you.
So here it's the same setup I have here. So I have installed a Samsung A60 Evolution M.2 1 terabyte, two of them in RAID 0. Okay, so on is a TBS. So let's take a look how fast the performance is. Let's try to upload the file.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not moving. Wait a second.
Yes.
Yeah, I try to hit the cut. A little bit slow. And then paste.
So we can see that
Yeah.
the speed is pretty much stable
Stable
and around
800.
830 megabyte. So just really fast.
Yes.
And it's come from a small NAS with our Aquantia internet chip, right?
Yes. And try to do the other way. So I'm trying to cut and paste the 10 gigabit file. Okay. From the local. Right now it's from the NAS to the local.
Okay, so it's still very stable and keep at around 670. So we believe that using 10 gigabit is the future. So we have already implemented the 10 gigabit solution into a lot of our NAS SKUs.
Yes.
So if you are looking for a 10G speed of your NAS, please you can go to our website and check for the model name comes with X.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you are having a NAS currently that doesn't support 10G, you just need to go to our website and look for the QXG 10G1 TPCI card and go to Aquantia, download the driver for your PC.
Yes.
And for NAS, no need for the drivers. Okay, let's go back to the slides. Let's go back to our slides. Yeah, the next part, we have done the live demo, and the next part is a simple introduction for our NAS. So we thank you for your coming, George.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so now we will take a short break and okay, whatever. So let's start to take the introduction of our NAS. So this will be, okay, this will be the front view, and start from the left hand side is a USB one touch copy button, and here comes two USB 3.0 ports. And then in the middle there are 4 of the M.2 SATA SSD status LED, and in the between of the LED and the volume panel is the IR receiver. So if you have the needs for the IR remote, you just purchase it on our website and you can use it with your TBS. And then at the right hand side, that is the power button and your status for this NAS.
Yes.
And the side views, at the right side we have another extra USB 3.0 port, and at the left hand side we have stereo speakers at both sides.
Yeah,
so it should be loud, I think. At the rear panel we have 4 of the USB 2.0, and comes after that is a 4K output HDMI, 1 of the 10G BSD port, and 1 of the Giga LAN port. 3 of the audio ports, and then the power cord. So on this small NAS you will get 7 of your USB ports. 3 faster one, you can use it for your DAS or your other transmission devices. And for the 4 USB 2.0, you can use it with your mouse or your UPS or your keyboard.
Yes.
And this is how you can easily remove the cover, the cover. Yeah, on the
button
cover,
yes.
And then you just need to push all the 4 plastic rubber, and then you can unscrew that and take out the bottom cover. Then you will see at the right hand side we have 2 of the DDR4 SO-UDIMM slots, which can support you up to 8 gigabit.
8 gigabyte.
Yeah. And we have 2 SKUs come out as default, and we have 4 gig, which is 2 of the 2 gigabyte, and another SKU is 8 gig, which comes 2 of the 4 gigabyte. And the right hand side we can support you 4 of the M.2 2280 SATA SSD slots. So it's very light and very easy for you to install or to change any of the hardware inside that. We will also give you a small live demo later. And the last part, we want to give you a good heat sink and good temperature control. So left hand side you can see we have the heat sink pad,
thermal pad.
Yeah, thermal pad that you can install it on the up and down side of the SSD. And we also give you SSD heatsink. You can just easily put it on your M.2 thermal pad and it's done. So at the right hand side, we can see that there's a small fan inside of this NAS, so it can provide you a more stable heatsink performance. So the next part we will show you how to remove, how to upgrade your memory and how to install your SSD. So let's go to our USB cam.
So here I have a TBS-453DX, and to do the upgrades on parts, it's very easy. Just lift the rubber pads, and after you lift it, you have access to 4 screws, and then you can use your coins and to just remove the screws, and then you can lift the top cover. Okay, after you lift the cover here, you have access to the memory and the M.2 SSDs.
Yes.
And so for the M.2 SSDs here, as an example, okay, on the top you will have to apply the thermal pad and the heatsink, okay, which will be included in the package. And on the bottom, if it's a single-sided, yeah, you have to apply 2 layers of the thermal pads, and with a double-sided, just 1 layer. So just make sure this provides a good contact with the motherboards, okay, to provide a better heat dissipation. And then just once you have this installed, just put the SSDs, and then with screws, and then you finish the installation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very easy.
So quite easy, yes. All right, so let's finish the installation guide.
Yeah, and go back. So we also want to tell you a good news, since this is like a portable NAS, so we can provide you a wide voltage input from 10 volt into 20 volt. So you don't really have to concern about the different, like the nation or country for the electricity voltage issue, because we can have a good adapter that can support you from 10 to 20. Okay, so now it's more easier for you to move your NAS around. And then the next part we will talk about the multimedia part. So since this has a built-in GPU, so we can provide you hardware transcoding or the performance for 4K 60 frame rate per second. So it will provide you a better quality of your picture or your movies. And then since you can use 7 of the USB port to build up your own computer with our hybrid disk station or the virtualization station or Linux station. So first we will introduce you the hybrid disk station. What can we do on that? We can provide you like all of this. You can use the hybrid disk station for your system management or your surveillance system like QVR Pro client or the surveillance station. And then communication and social part like Skype, Facebook, and the multimedia, we integrated some of the third-party services such as YouTube, Spotify, Plex, something like that. And of course our own original QBKG like photo station, video station, music station, and Ocean KTV. For the browsers, we can also support 3 of the browsers right here. So it's very easy for you to turn your NAS into another multimedia tools. And speaking of the IR receiver, you can also purchase the IR remote RM IR004. We provide you a lot of different functions. Like the first one, you can directly play your favorite music through the playlist, and then you can use the red button to one touch to your surveillance system, and then the blue one easily for you to turn on or off your NAS, very convenient. So the easier is the future. The convenience is the future. So now the IR remote can give you a better controlling experience to our NAS. And we just mentioned about Windows system and Ubuntu system. So we have one QPKG called Linux Station. You just need to go to our App Center and download that. Then plug one of the HDMI between your monitor and the NAS, and another 2 USB port for your mouse and keyboard. Then you can download Ubuntu 14.04 or 16, or the Chinese version for Ubuntu Kirin. So Now you have more ways to use your NAS. You can use it as a storage system, or you can use it as your multimedia entertainment system, or you can use it as another computer for your other purposes. Then, since we can provide you the Ubuntu and then the Linux station, of course, the benefit of using Linux station that is you can also use the KODI to play your multimedia. What's inside of this picture is the user interface of the KODI, so it provides you a better experience for the visual like the UI. So for your music, TV, radio, or your downloaded music, you can all view and listen to them on KODI if you like the skin. And of course, don't forget our own QPKG Ocean KTV. You can use the audio ports and it can support you 2 of the dynamic microphone inputs. With our Ocean KTV and the hybrid desk station, you can easily use the song that already in your library, or you can choose the song on the internet and then make it your own karaoke song. And of course, you can use your mobile phone to control your song list. And you can use iOS or Android. We support both of the systems. And then the third-party services, we also have like Plex, and we support DLNA, and we also support AirPlay 3, and of course Chromecast. All of this we can support you like 4K Ultra HD output, no matter it through HDMI or through DLNA, AirPlay, something like that. So if you already have DLNA supported devices, or you already have Apple devices, all you need to do is to connect everything together. Then you can use that. Speaking of Plex, this is a third-party service. We can support like Roku, Chromecast, Amazon, and Apple TV. And for DLNA, Smart TV, PC, Android, and tablet. And of course, Mac phone. We can all support that. And the next part is our Cinema 2.8. That is our original QPKG. Well, basically, we can support you 8 of those devices you can see in the picture. And the benefit is like, we can make our NAS as a operator. We can decide to maybe to choose the movies and the multimedia inside of your device A, and then we can drag them to play it on device B or device C. So we can make an operator and easily control every of our multimedia to be played on each of the different devices. So it's a very cool QPKG. If you haven't tried, please download it and try it. And since we also support Roon, and why we want to mention Roon in this NAS, because for this NAS, we can support you all SSD slots. So SSD have a better performance on the IOPS. So that is why if you are a Roon user, you definitely need to consider about our this TBS, because it's small, it's light, and it can provide you a good performance when you want to use the hardware efficient to give you a better experience, no matter you want to use your Roon or you want to use the video transcoding. Yeah. And the next part is the protection part. Since it's still a NAS, although it has a lot of different features, it is still a NAS. We can support Windows, we can support Mac. So the Mac, we can give you auto backup for your Time Machine. And for Windows, you just need to go to our website and download the NetBack Replicator. We can also do the auto backup for your Windows. Okay. And here is the snapshot for your malware, for your virus, or you accidentally delete any of your data file. You just need to use snapshot to recover everything back. And for this one, as long as you are using the DDR4 over 4 gigabyte, which we have it as default settings, you can already have 1024 of the snapshot to all of this NAS. So you can like take one picture every day. You can last it for 3 years, right? And speaking of the backup, we also want to mention the backup 321 standard, which is announced in America several years ago. So 3 of the copies, 2 of the device, and 1 of the device should be on the cloud. So our hybrid backup sync can provide you this solution even more better. We can give you backup at local and at remote NAS, or even your already existed cloud storage services. So very easy to use. If you want to know more about this, please go to our website and look for Hybrid Backup Sync. It's hosted by me and Norman. We can have more detail about this app. And what comes with the new version of our QTS is the notification center. Now it's much more easier for you to handle all the notification, and you can set everything here, and you can get all the warning right here, and you can also configure your warning level, like system error or like simple notification. You don't want to have it, you just want to have like system warning, and you can all set it right here, and it's very easily for you to do all the configuration and settings. Of course, not to mention our QVR Pro, because every of our NAS can support you a free channel of the free recordings with your IP cameras, and now we can support over 6,000 of the IP cameras in the market. If you need more, just go to our license store and purchase for that. And if you don't have IP cameras, but if you have USB cameras, you can download our QPKG QUSB Cam 2 on our App Center, and it can directly turn your USB camera into an IP camera. So you can try our QVR Pro our QVR Pro and our QVR Pro client on your computer and on your NAS to experience that, if that is good for your demand. Okay. The last thing about this is expand. Since it's using 4 of the M.2 SSD, we dare not to say that it can provide you a very big storage capacity. So when it's not enough, you can use VJBOD, which, since this is a x86 structure of the NAS, you can use the VJBOD function to borrow the empty space from other NASes, and it can support you up to 8 different NASes.
Yes.
And we have another function, right?
Yeah. Currently, besides the maximum 8, so you can connect through 1 gigabit or even the 10 gigabit through the built-in 10 gigabit port. And if you don't want to use a network-based expansion, if you feel more comfortable with a physical cable connection, then you can consider our upcoming QNAP TR004 expansion box to expand the NAS capacity. So basically, there are 2 usage cases you can choose. So first one is to you can use it as a data exchange platform. So you can configure TR004 as an external device. That way, you can exchange the data between the TBS and also the Windows and Mac platforms. Okay, so just be treated as an external device with a 4-bay big capacity. Okay, and the second mode is you can use it as a NAS only, so NAS expansion mode only. That way it becomes the TBS-453DX own expansion unit. So just pretty much similar to our previous UX 500p, 800p. So you can use it to expand the NAS capacity, or you can disconnect the storage and then connect to another NAS. We call it JBOD roaming.
Yes.
So 2 different usages.
Okay. And this will be the whole introduction of our TBS-453 NAS and what comes after it, and all the other applications around this NAS. So we hope you like it, and let's go back to live. If you like our video, please, you can give us a subscribe, and if you want to know more about our products and all the other functions, please go to live.qnap.com for more videos.
Yes.
And we thank you for your watching. We will see you next time on QNAP Live Broadcast. Bye.
Bye-bye.